A2's Farmall 51 here, and this is the 1941 Farmall M. What we're going to call it is the Rhodes family tractor. All right, so this is part one, multiple video series here on the 1941 Farmall M. The serial number on this M is 39389. So it's a mid-year 41-ish tractor by all the casting dates, which all of those match. So this is not gonna be a walk around video. This is gonna be the story explaining how we got this tractor, the many years of waiting, knowing where this tractor was, almost having this tractor in my hands the first time, and then it getting sold and us getting it back. And I don't have as many photos as I wished I'd had taken, but at the moment, you don't think about stuff like that. You're trying to get the thing home. So this is the story of the 1941 Rhodes family tractor. Start the story, it's kind of it's a really interesting story of tracking down this tractor and getting it back, and to keep it. It got away from me and I got it back. So, but this is so I'm gonna start in the beginning. Somewhere in the early 90s, this tractor was overhauled completely. From what I was told, the story is it wasn't painted or anything, but a lot of seals were fixed, replaced, bearings. I've done a bore scoping, and there's actually cross hatching inside the cylinders. So I know the tractor hadn't been run too terribly much. My wife's great-grandmother purchased this tractor in 41, stayed in the family, parked it in a shelter, and never ran again until 2015, 16, somewhere. I want to say, I'm not, it's harder, it's been a while. I'm going to say 2016 or so, when I was doing some maintenance at her grandfather's house, and this tractor here was just a, half mile up the road. So under a shelter. Me and my wife were out one day. We were in the area where this tractor was at, and we rode by where her family member that owned the tractor at the time had it, still under the shelter. I said, well, there he was out in the front yard, and I told her, I said, we need to stop by and talk to him about that tractor and see if he wants to sell it. And she said, he had company over at the time. And she said, no, we'll just, we'll let it go. We won't bother him, I kind of felt, we really needed to find out and lock this thing down or something, or try to find out about it or see what he wanted to do with it. A couple weeks later, I was cutting the grass back up there again at her grandfather's house. I finally got the nerve up myself, and I called him. I said, hey, what do you want to do with the tractor? And I said, we'd like to buy it and keep it in the family, because this tractor belonged to her. My wife's great-grandmother purchased new from Raleigh Tractor and Truck, and I'll put a picture of the Raleigh dealership where they purchased it, where in fact, I've got some tractors in here that came from Raleigh as well. And once I called him, we talked a few minutes, and I finally got the nerve up to actually ask him about the tractor. He's like, man, he said, I wished I'd have known that. And it just felt like somebody stepped on your chest or, kicked you in the gut. And I thought, here we go, He goes, man, he said, I sold that tractor 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago. I missed that tractor by 4 weeks. But then the real disheartening part was, other than missing the tractor, knowing that he had sold it, was he had come back and he had told me, he says, Matt, he said, if I'd have known y'all wanted to keep that tractor in the family, I'd have give it to you. Boy, that probably the thing that hurt the most right there is knowing that he would have give us this tractor. We wouldn't have had to pay anything for it, and we could have just went and picked it up and took it home. Because he wanted to see it kept in the family as well, and he didn't have any kids or anything. I said, okay. I said, who'd you sell it to? And he told me who he sold it to. And I said, would you mind, or would you think it would be okay if I called him and kind of maybe put the bug in his ear to say, hey, I'd like to, won't know if he wanted to sell it, or if he, just to let him know that, hey, I'd love to have it if you ever get rid of it. And he kind of was, I could tell he was kind of apprehensive about, he didn't really want to. He said, man, I'd love to, but I don't think he's going to want to sell it. And he said, well, let me get up with him. A couple of weeks went by, I think months maybe. I called him back and I said, hey, did you ever get up with him and see if he wanted to sell the tractor back? And he said, I don't think he's going to want to sell it. So I didn't really, at the time, I was busy doing something, and I said, I didn't really want to push him to give me the number. I think he just more or less didn't want to. I think it was a friend of his, and I don't know. And that he may have talked to him before, and he just told him that, hey, I don't want to sell it. Tell him I don't want to sell it or something. So another friend of mine, and the investigative part of me mode started. I knew another friend of mine that also knew the person that bought it. So I called him and I said, hey, we'll call him Tim. And I said, hey, Tim, give me, I said, do you mind giving me that number? I'd like to get a hold of him. So Tim was kind of like apprehensive about it. And I was like, gosh, no. And I said, nobody wants to give me this number. So another friend of mine, I knew who the guy was to him. I didn't know where he lived at. I was told the tractor wasn't that far away. Anyway, another friend of mine knew the guy, and I got the number. And so I had this number in my hand 6 months. And I don't know why. I cannot tell you why it was so hard for me to call this guy. Anyway, so one day I got the nerve up, and I called the guy. Talked to him, and he said, man, he said, yeah, he said, I bought it from him and from my wife's relative, and he said, I'm just not ready to sell it right now. And I said, okay, I mean, I understand. I said, in the future, do you think you would potentially, want to get rid of it and or sell it? Or he says, well, I'm using it right now to rake hay, and when I get tired of it, I'll let you know, and I'll be sure to call you. I said, well, do you mind if I call you ever so often to kind of touch base and keep in touch so we don't lose communication? And he said yes. So every 6 months from 2016 until August of 25, I called this guy every 6 months. And the funny thing is, when I would call him and he would answer the phone, he would laugh and he would say, "Hey, Matt, he said, I know. He says, and we joked about it every time I would talk to him. And he said, I'm still using it. He said, I ain't quite ready to get rid of it yet, but he says, I still got you in mind. Don't worry. I was worried. I found the tractor. I hadn't seen it yet, but I had found the tractor. I knew about where it was. I knew he had it, so I wanted to keep touch base with him. Me and my wife were out one afternoon in town, and we were heading back home, and this was early August, and I get a call from her relative who previously owned the tractor. He said, hey, go ahead and, he said, I'll give you the number again if you don't have it, but he said, I think he's ready to sell the tractor. And I'm thinking, heart went to pounding, I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. And still, that afternoon, I don't know what it was. I was just nervous about calling out. At this time, I was worried how much was he going to want for this tractor. So the next morning, I gave him a call. And I said, hey, this is Matt. He had told me that you were ready to sell the tractor. And he said, yeah. And I said, so that day I went right over to the house and laid my eyes on it for the first time. And I'll put a picture up here of right before I walked up on it. And I didn't video because I didn't want to be weird around this guy. And, when you pull a camera out and people think, hey, what's this guy doing? And so, but anyway, I took a picture of it and looked around the tractor. I was really happy at the condition of the tractor. It's got some mismatched tires, but I've already got a set for it. But I talked to him and he gave me a price. The tractor in its condition, which it was running, he pumped the tires up. I think he said he put a new set of front tires on it, put some gas, changed the oil, put a set of plugs in it, points in it, the usual. And he said it ran, and he raked hay with it. And he basically got to the point where he was getting out of the hay business, or I think he had got a more modern tractor to rake hay with. And so I went home and told my wife, said, hey, this is what he wanted for it. And I've found this tractor after all these years, kept up with the guy. Now the guy was ready to sell it. And really, I would say the tractor in the picture before, when it was all together, this assembly, it was really a $1,500 tractor, like it was if it was running. The sheet metal on this tractor is excellent, except for two little holes in the grill up there, which they're minor holes. But anyway, that's on another video when we do the walk around video. We all got in the truck, went and winched it up. He didn't have a battery in it, but it did. He had showed me some video of it running. So we winched it up on the trailer. Actually, I took the little Kubota and helped pull while we winched it up on the trailer. And I've got a few pictures of that, I think, that I managed to snap while we were there. We got it home, kind of assessed the tractor, got a battery for it, put some fresh gas in it, put a fuel bowl on it. Oil was fine in it. Figured if it's been in there, I'd run it on it just a little bit and then we'd change it. We pulled that thing all over creation, could not get it to start. All it would do is pop. Bought a brand new spanking carburetor on Facebook, a guy off Facebook or something. Still would not run. Couldn't find out 3 of the plug wires were wrong on it, and I'm wondering if that's what was actually wrong with it. Switched the plug wires around, and I've got some video. Hopefully I still got this video here. I'll go ahead and play it. And that's the video of it the first time we heard it run. And the more it ran, the more it woke up. I think the tractor had been sitting a little bit longer than I was told, but I'm not sure. We ran it for a while, drove it around, went through all the gears. Everything was fine. No crunching, no bearing noise. Let it run for a long time, and it was getting hot. Thermostat stuck in it, so I took the thermostat out, ran it some more. I was happy with that, and since I had known its previous history and what had been done to it, we brought it in the shop here. Like I say, I ran the bore scope down. I don't know if I still have those pictures or not, but I checked and like I say, there was cross hatching inside the cylinder. That was a good sign. That made me feel better that the tractor, that it was true that it had been rebuilt. And I'm pretty much, like I said, I was told that all the bearings had been changed. The valves are all in excellent shape. Good clean valves trained on it. Clutch is excellent. They must have put a clutch in it as well. Perfect clutch in it. We backed it in here, and around the end of November, we started disassembling. Like I said, I did the video right before we took the thing completely apart. Then I found out the video was no good, and now we're going through. We've got it down about as far as I'm going to go with it right now. I'm working on currently going to split the tractor and put a rear main seal in it since it 1990 and it's set for that long. I'm going to go ahead and put a rear main seal in it just for peace of mind. I'm going to put a front transmission seal. All the seals are going to be replaced. Every seal on this tractor is going to be replaced. Top plate gasket and things like that. But that's for, like I say, another part 2 video of the walk around video of this tractor. But I just want to kind of give you since this was the first video, I kind of want to do a explanation video, introduction into this tractor here. This is a family tractor. This is a tractor we're going to keep. A family tractor like that. You see stories all the time. I always love to read stories, and hint, this may be an article in the next Red Power. Be a look on that. If you're not subscribed to Red Power Magazine, get online now, redpowermagazine.com. Subscribe to them, get your magazine. I write articles. I've got a section in there, I write articles for the magazine. And if you check back, you'll see Red Bibs Bill, Bill Burnham, that emblem guy. Stuff we do with the chapter, different things like that. I wrote a couple different articles for all of 2025. But it's not every day that you lose a tractor like that. You track it down and get it back. Most time they are gone, they're scrapped. I've seen too many perfectly good tractors stripped down for parts, and so I highly encourage you, if you've got a family tractor that's got away, don't give up on it. Like I say, I have been after this a little over 10 years, right around 10 years, or give or take a few, to get this thing back into the family. And now we've got it. Now we've got to get it restored. Their deadline is November this year, 26th. We want to have it in the Raleigh Christmas Parade. That's my goal. But thanks for watching. And like I say, this is part 1. Follow the channel, follow me here for part 2 and for the walk around video. And then I'll do videos monthly, or as we do milestones or whatever. Like I say, I'll probably do a video after the walk around video. We're getting ready to split it, so I didn't do one of the disassembly, but that was just pulling parts off. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you at part 2.